Hola bandidos, ¿cómo estamos? Welcome to Mel's Magic Official. I'm Magic Mel and this is Charles, my angel. Welcome to episode 9 of season 10. I'm a little bit wiped out today. I don't know about you guys, but here in Spain, well, not in Spain, in general, in my pueblo, it was another holiday. Apparently, my town and the next town are the towns with the most holidays in entire Spain. It's crazy. I went up the mountain today because I thought, you know what? I'm going to take the day off too and do something a little bit out of my own routine. So I live next to a beautiful mountain and I said, you know what? Let's just climb this thing. So I'm a little bit crispy tanned. But being out in nature and the fresh air and the sun is so invigorating. And it's a paradox. It's invigorating and it's also calming and makes you peaceful. So for me, going out to nature is like charging the battery. I hope you guys are doing well. In the last episodes, we spoke about the shadow, and it's a big topic. It's a big topic. You might ask, well, why do I need to look into my shadow? I explained to you a little bit how there is a collective shadow. So we might consciously think that we're not doing anything wrong, it wasn't me kind of thing, and then we point the finger to other people. Well, let them do something about it, let the government fix the problem. This is not my responsibility. But a big issue with the shadow is that when we're not in our light, we tend to be passive. We tend to literally abdicate responsibility and say and wash our hands clean, like I have no part in this, I'm not responsible for this, um, the suffering out there has nothing to do with me. The more you integrate your shadow, the more you look with the light of your awareness into the unconscious parts of yourself, you will come back into balance because you will be more accepting, you will be more wholesome in that sense, and you will be less judgmental. You will see that there are aspects in yourself that are not as nice and as good as you thought you were, and that might scare you. But I'm telling you, it's necessary. It's necessary to humble us, to realize, okay, there are parts of ourselves that can be in a way dangerous. Dangerous in the sense that if we reject them and deny them, they will come out in oblique ways because we cannot really get rid of the shadow. The shadow just remains in the shadow as long as we don't shed that awareness onto them. And from the shadow, our individual, particular, personal shadow will feed the collective shadow, and it will drive into atrocities, genocides, war, abuse, you name it. And it takes courage to step into your light because literally you will probably be inspired to take action. You will be inspired to stand up for something. You will no longer be silenced, nor will you tolerate silence if you see an injustice going on. So, yes, it is about taking up more responsibility, but the root of being responsible is precisely that, to respond to what we encounter, to not just react blindly, but to consciously respond when necessary to our environment. So here at Mel's Magic Official, Magic Mel, I'm encouraging you to do the inner work, to self-reflect, to see how are you triggered, when are you triggered, and to not just disregard the trigger, but to really look a little bit deeper. Ask yourself, what in that person am I rejecting and why am I rejecting that? That usually has to do with our shadow. Or why am I being so defensive? What is it about his or her or their comment that triggered me, that triggered my shame perhaps, or an internal core belief that I'm not aware about? It is a beautiful work of self-inquiry, this shadow work. And at the same time, it will make us more balanced, more responsible, more whole, integrated, and more powerful. Because all of a sudden, you are in charge of how you use your different aspects, of where you put your attention, of where you put your energy or not. Power is not about violence and enforcing things. Power has to do with the capacity to choose between what is wanted and unwanted. I'm wary of the words good and evil. They're very loaded concepts. So, what is wanted, what is not wanted, what is working, what is not working, what is aligned and what is misaligned. But if we're not even aware of our own programming or our own shadow behaviors, then we're basically just a puppet. Okay? That are my 2 cents on the shadow. And again, how does the shadow manifest? I mentioned the triggers, but there's also, for example, if you are in a depressive state, a general malaise or apathetic, nothing, life lacks vigor, probably you're not in your power. You haven't integrated the shadow, because the shadow, I also explained, is not just evil. There's a lot of vitality that lies in the shadow. Some people call it the daemon, not just the demon, but the daemon, the creative daemon. You know, people, a lot of artists have their shadow integrated and relate to their shadow in a healthy way, in a constructive way. And the big question nowadays is really, to quote Shakespeare, to be or not to be. You know, and with each choice, we choose whether we choose to create consciously or to create unconsciously. And usually, our unconscious creations are driven by our shadow aspects, and they can be very destructive. So, look into shadow work, be inquisitive, be curious, don't judge your shadow aspects, just welcome them into your arena of your awareness. Okay. I have a painting, I'll show it to you next time, a drawing where there's me sitting at a table at a spotlight on a stage, and there's my demon, and we're having tea. So to speak, invite your demon, invite your shadow to have some tea. Don't reject even your own demon into the shadows, where he will just become stronger and stronger in the unconscious mind. Okay, I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you for episode 10 coming right after this one. Ciao, bandidos.